Good afternoon, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bubba here on the afternoon of Tuesday, January 26, 2021. And today I wanted to do an editorial on impeachment and our national wound. Well, today, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, Republican, is going to introduce a measure in the Senate concerning the impeachment of former President Trump. I never have agreed with much with Senator Paul, let alone with Senator McConnell, the other senator of Kentucky, also Republican, or any other Democrats. But Mr. Paul here has a good issue and something that should be taken a lot more than just politics. Because Mr. Rand Paul is asking, is this impeachment constitutional? And no, it is not. The Democrats tried to make it political. They knew President Trump was leaving office in less than 2 weeks. Is President Trump guilty or should be punished for what he did? Yes. But there's a lot of ways of doing that hurt more than an impeachment. Impeachment doesn't do anything. Oh, they don't want him to do any office, but think about it. 4 years from now, he's going to be 78 years old. Is his health going to hold from now to 4? Really? But if you keep on doing what you're doing, his supporters are going to be there. It's just like, if you don't understand, look at history and look at Nicaragua. In the 1930s, there was Anastasio Somoza, a ruthless dictator, and Sandino, which was his opponent. Anastasio Somoza assassinated Sandino in 1934, I believe, and Sandino became a martyr. He didn't have to do that. It was the downfall of Anastasio Somoza because Sandino became a movement called the Sandinistas. And 40 years later, they overthrew his son, Anastasio Somoza Jr., in the 70s and created one of the most ruthless dictatorships you've ever seen in the Western Hemisphere. They ruled Nicaragua with an iron fist, and are still around today. Daniel Ortega is still in the government very much in Nicaragua. Did they do anything for Nicaragua? No. Is Nicaragua better off today than it was under Anastasio Somoza Sr. back in the 30s? No. And this is the problem that you have here with the United States. Is this impeachment constitutional? No. Should this impeachment have been called? No. Should President Trump be tried? Yes, but by the District of Columbia, where he allegedly, because nothing's been charged, created the riot on January 6, 2021 that let the people in to the Capitol. And I say allegedly because there hasn't been any charges yet. Nobody's leveled charges against him. Nobody's leveled charges against anybody else. You arrested a lot of people. But it's up to the prosecutor of the District of Columbia to see what's going to happen there. President Trump, like I said before in my videos, was the first citizen of the United States. Not only the president, but the first citizen. But he's still a citizen of the United States. Now that he's a former president. So he's liable as a citizen. A presidency is just a temporary job that you have. You have to uphold the principles of the office of the presidency of the United States, which he did not do. But neither has Congress uphold the office of Congress. Speaker Pelosi, Senator Schumer in the Senate have not uphold the policies of the Congress according to the U.S. Constitution. This I agree with Senator Paul. The senator should vote at least 34 should vote against this impeachment because it's not going to do anything but add to the wound that you already got in the national spotlight. This wound was aggravated by President Trump and House Speaker Pelosi with her impeachment. Is it going to be worth healing? I don't think so. Because Mr. Biden is widening the divide even as we speak. Because he doesn't understand the national wound. Will it ever get healed? No. The U.S. is headed towards disintegration. And the only ones to blame are the American people and their elected officials. They asked for it and they got it. Like I said, the wound started in 1776 when you guys tried to split from Britain and you became the us versus them. In those days, the us was what you called the rebels, as the British would call you, the Whigs. And you guys called yourself patriots. And the guys that stood with the British Empire were called Tories by the British. The Americans called them loyalists. And from 1776 to 1783, that was a vicious war that was fought between those two. There was a lot of killings that you don't report in your history books. But if you look at the little papers that were around in those days, you'll see how houses of the loyalists were burned and people were killed for no reason other than being loyalists. Thus, the us versus them in 1783, a lot of loyalists left the United States after the Treaty of Paris. The wound got bigger between 1783 and 1789 when you became the Articles of Confederation under which you were ruled. Created a lot of us versus them. They weren't loyalists and they weren't patriots. There was still that, but there was a lot more us versus them, and nobody could say who was us and who was them. And then in 1789, you created the Constitution, which, like President Jefferson went on to say later, a half a loaf is better than no loaf at all. But he was counting on his descendants to make this loaf better. And you guys have dwindled that loaf down to a hunch piece of the heel of the bread. So there's no loaf left. This is what I'm saying, Americans. You are responsible for this. You elected these people. You nurtured these people. Therefore, what you got is what you sowed. And you reaped. And this is the outcome you got. Will the Senate vote with Senator Paul? I hope so. Because we don't need the impeachment. You can still go after President Trump as citizen Trump. Because he was first citizen when he committed these acts. He's not in presidency no more, so you can't go under the impeachment. The Democrats tried twice to impeach him, and both times they used political. Impeachment's not a political tool. Impeachment is a tool of the heart, and you have to know how to use it. They didn't know. Neither does the Republicans. This is your favorite alien, and Baba saying, this American, I leave you with this remark. You reap what you sow. So therefore, this is what you got. Good day.